Hi everybody, welcome to Simple Art at Home with me, Laura Houston. We have a great episode today. I'm going to tell you about a new art contest opportunity. And sorry we couldn't live stream today. We had some technical difficulties. So as always, whenever we can't live stream, we will record and upload. So thanks for tuning in to us. So before we get started, let's go ahead and look at the fabulous student art that you've sent in to me. Thank you so much for sending in pictures of your art and your art projects. I love seeing what you do. I always keep my email there on the bottom corner of the screen just so you know how to reach me. Keep that art coming in to me. So today I'm going to talk with you about a very special art contest hosted by Assemblymember Tom Daly of the 69th District. And I made a short movie that gives the rules and regulations. There's fantastic prizes, there's iPads. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at that short movie and then we'll get into our art lesson. Each year, Assemblymember Tom Daly hosts an art contest. This year's theme is Something I Look Forward to Doing After COVID. The due date for your art is Friday, November 13th. The hardest part of any contest is coming up with your idea. I suggest making a circle map and adding your ideas inside of the map. Here's an example of a circle map that I made with my own ideas. I listed all of the things that I look forward to doing once it is safe to do so. Some of my ideas are having a family get-together with everyone, including Grandma and Grandpa. Older people are more at risk of developing severe complications from COVID-19, so my family has not been visiting or hugging our grandparents. I also miss working from the office with my coworkers. You all know that I live stream from my house because I've been working from home since March. So I look forward to going back to work in the office and collaborating with my coworkers. I also look forward to getting together with my friends. I miss having barbecues at home, going out to lunch, and just having friends come over to my house. I look forward to going on a vacation. My family and I have taken the pandemic very seriously, and we have not ventured out much at all. It will be nice to be able to go on a trip. Finally, I really look forward to skating at the rink. The skating rink was my main form of exercise. I used to go twice a week. When the pandemic hit, the rink closed. I miss skating and seeing all of my friends at the rink. I suggest that you make a circle map like mine and add some of your ideas. Then you can choose your favorite to turn into a drawing or a painting. Once you have finished your art, you will take a picture of it and email it either to me, Laura Houston, at lhouston@aesd.org, or you can email it to Miss Nadia Villafana. She works with Assemblymember Tom Daly. Her email is nadia.villafana@asm.ca.gov. Much like our other contests, you will need to include your 7 must-haves in your email. Just as a review, they are: number 1, your first and last name. Number 2, your grade. Number 3, your school. Number 4, your parent contact information. Number 5, the title of your artwork. Number 6, your artist's statement that explains your art, and I will show you examples of artist statements. And 7, a picture of your art. You can also mail your physical artwork to the address that you see on the screen, if you choose to submit your work that way. You can feel free to pause this video at any time to write down any information that you need. Here is the same information in Spanish. I want to also mention that Miss Nadia told me that the prizes this year are iPads. Pretty cool. Remember, the due date is Friday, November 13th. Let's do some art. Okay, so as I mentioned, the hardest part about an art contest is coming up with the idea. So I'm going to go back to the circle map that I made. Today you're going to need paper, pencil, and something to color with or something to paint with. So let's go on over to the table. So here was my circle map, and I really recommend that you do something like this to help you, get your ideas together. And as you saw from the video, the due date is November 13th. It's a Friday. So I made a couple of examples. The first one that I made an example about is getting together with Grandma. So I made a very short movie of me painting a drawing. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at this one first. So here's my finished painting, and what I did was I started with pencil, and then I used my black Sharpies, and then finally I painted, and I think I added a little more thicker lines around the edges afterwards. If you notice that, the thicker lines make the people stand out. I just did the outside edges. And in the earlier short video, I did mention that you need to include an artist statement. An artist statement can be as little as 10 words or as many as 100 words. And the purpose of an artist statement is to explain to the judges why you created the art, or what your reasons are, or what your thoughts were. So here's mine. I will read it to you. I am looking forward to spending time with my grandma and giving her lots of hugs and kisses. I decided to draw myself walking towards my grandma in my artwork. I filled the background with happy shapes, colors, and hearts to give my artwork a sweet and joyful mood. So that's an example of an artist statement. So going back to my circle map, I decided to make another example for you about this one, skating at the rink. So why don't we go ahead and look at that short movie. So here's the finished painting, and again I started with pencil and then I outlined. Notice again that I used my thicker Sharpie just to outline the skate, to make the skate stand out. And if you noticed in the video at the very end, I decided to go back and add these horizontal lines just to kind of make it look like it was more of a wooden floor of a rink. And notice how this is also curved to make it look like it's in a rink. If you've ever been to a skating rink before, it's more of an oval shape. It's like a same thing as a hockey rink or an ice skating rink. So here's the example. And then I also made an example of an artist statement. This came out right at 100 words. And here is what I wrote. One of the things that I look forward to doing when COVID is over is going to the skating rink. When the pandemic hit, most public places closed, including skating rinks. I understand the reasons that our lives changed, and I am more than willing to follow the guidelines. I miss skating because it was my main form of exercise. I used to skate at the rink twice a week. Many of my friends were at the rink too, so it was also a fun place to go. I really look forward to skating indoors at the rink again someday. So here is my second example. And I was thinking, I wanted to do another example with you. I'm going to do a painting while you watch. And I was trying to think of some ideas that students would relate to, because those first two were, more about me personally. But I thought, let's do something about missing school. And, I really thought for a long time, and I thought, well, I could draw a school building, but I thought that would be, might not be as exciting. I thought I didn't really want to draw people again, because people are pretty difficult to draw. But if you want to draw people, I suggest you go for it. And so finally I thought, well, as a teacher, I just remember all the kids' backpacks. And as you walk down the hallway, you see all their backpacks, lined up and hanging on hooks. And to me, that symbolized a happy place because it meant the school was full of children. So I'm going to go ahead and draw like a backpack rack with some backpacks hanging from it. I'm going to just use my ruler to get a straight edge. If you noticed, I used my plate to get the circle. So right about here, I'm going to draw like a wooden, structure that gets nailed to the wall with hooks coming out of it. Let's see how this looks. And notice I used my ruler to try to get some straight lines there. And then here, my idea is I want to hang 3 backpacks. So if I measure this, this is about 6 inches. I'm going to put a hook here and maybe a hook here and a hook here. I'm just trying to space them evenly. And I'm going to turn it into like, I'm going to keep it simple. And remember, you just do the best that you can. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You know, don't worry if you feel like you're not the best artist. I'm not the best artist. I'm still learning. I'm still practicing. And I just, you know, put myself out here for you all to see because I'm just doing my best. And I think that, you know, that's the important thing. I'm not trying to be a perfectionist. And I've told you before that I do practice these ahead of time. I practice my drawings. So, you know, the only way that you will get good at something is if you keep practicing. And, you know, everybody has their own unique style of art. So I would say, you know, just go for it. Just try your best. And you never know what the judges might feel like, you know, what they really like. So here, these are going to be like little straps, you know, the top of the backpack that has the straps that can go over the hook. And I think you always see those little, you know, the cords that hang down on the side because you would, the part that goes over your shoulders, you know, you can adjust it. And so then it has those little canvas strips that hang down. So I'll show those because whenever I would see backpacks hanging out of school, you always see those straps hanging. We can do something like this to kind of show the top of the backpack. And maybe, let's see, each one, maybe sometimes backpacks have a little tag like that. And remember, I'm just giving you ideas. You can draw anything you want. And actually, you know, you shouldn't copy mine because it is an art contest. So you're going to do your own thing. Let's make a little pouch right here that goes outside on the outside of the backpacks. That's would be like a zipper. And maybe up here, I'll do a little thing like that. Let's see, if this were my backpack, I'm going to put some initials on it. I'm going to put my initials, L and H. I'll color those in. You can, I don't know. I think it's interesting because I would always, as a teacher, I like to see everybody's interesting backpacks and everybody's personality kind of comes through with the backpacks that they bring to school. How about something like this? And let's see, this will be the ground down here. Maybe up here we can put like a little sign, because remember, it's something that we're looking forward to. Maybe I'll put a little sign up here that we can pretend that like the kids made or that a teacher made, and it'll say welcome back. So let me just write that out and I'll paint over it. I'm going to paint this. Welcome back. There. Okay, so I think what I will do next is add some pen. I think I should add, let's see, like this would be like a little hole where that wooden board would be connected. And I want the straps, those little, the backpack hanging straps to be in front of this board. So let me just show you what I'm doing to show that. Notice that the line will go behind that. So if this were the hook, like the wall hook, that goes behind. I think once I completely erase my pencil, it will make more sense to you what I just did. That's, kind of a way to show the order of objects or to show depth. Okay, then I'm just going to have this go straight over here like that. And now let me erase a little bit so you can see that a little better. There. You always want to be aware of which lines cross over in front. So we can do this backpack. Maybe you can do, if you're excited about going back to school and if you want to use this, this idea, maybe you can do something else with a backpack, because backpacks are pretty easy to draw. They're fairly simple. And there. And so this would be like a zipper hanging down right there. Then again, I'm going to show this strap hanging down in front of this line here. Let's do another. Line here. Okay. I'm sure a lot of you have some great ideas already for the Assemblymember Tom Daily art contest. And remember, the theme is, what are you looking forward to? Something that you are looking forward to doing once COVID is over, or once things are safe again to venture out. As I mentioned in my slideshow, my family has been very careful, and we're just being patient because, my family has had discussions, and we know that this situation is temporary. So we've been patient. We've, made a decision as a family that we're not going to be socializing, with people, because especially with, as I mentioned, with grandparents, and I know my daughter misses her grandparents, but, we do it to keep our grandparents safe and, to prevent the spread. It's difficult. It's really hard to be patient, and it's hard to have your life change so drastically, so quickly. It's really challenging, but as human beings, we can adapt. And, that's what we're doing right now. We're adapting to online learning. I'm adapting. I'm learning how to use YouTube. My husband Jeff has been helping me produce these videos. He's had to adapt because, I wanted to keep teaching children. So I'm going to erase my extra pencil lines that I might not want to show up. There we go. There. This just gives a cleaner finished product because I'm going to be using watercolors, and watercolors are pretty transparent. Pencil marks will show through. So before I start, I generally try to plan out my colors ahead of time. So as I look at this, I want to pick out the colors of my backpack and make sure they don't mix with the background. So I think I'm going to do the ground green, and I'm going to do the background, this wall, like a yellow-orange color. So that means I don't want to do green backpacks, and I don't want to do a yellow-orange backpack. So I am going to go ahead and get my paints ready. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to start with my medium-sized watercolor brush. And I will start with green. So I'm going to start with the ground. So I imagine, this could either be green carpet, maybe, that's inside of a colorful classroom, or I guess it could be grass outside of a classroom, or it could just be a green ground, because you know, the great thing about art is you get to choose whatever colors you want. If you noticed, let me show you something. If you notice this one that I did, I gave myself purple hair, and I gave my grandma blue hair, and she has a purple cane. But it's just fun and it's happy. So remember, you can choose any colors that you want. Notice the green ground. So keep that in mind. You don't have to stick to the real world colors when you're creating art. And many famous artists, if you're not doing, realism paintings, you can use any colors that you want to. So just kind of fading that out down there. We've got some green. And then I think for, let's see, I think for the background, let me paint I'm gonna do a backpack first. I'm gonna do this one red. I think once this dries, I'm gonna use my thicker Sharpie and thicken the outline of the backpacks. I showed you that I did that on the roller skate and on the grandma and the girl, because I think it's interesting to use different line weights if you're using pen. Let's see, I'll make the heart red. Okay, there. And I think on my next backpack, once this dries a little bit, I'll add color in the middle. I'm gonna move on and add some purple. Oh, this one is my backpack because I put my initials on it. I like purple. I like a lot of colors, but I like purple and blue a lot. So remember, and I've told you this before, I'm just here to give you ideas. You can create anything that you want. And remember, the theme is something I look forward to doing after COVID. I did that fairly light, so I think I'll go ahead and I'm gonna add a little detail here. I'm gonna add a stripe just to break up and make this a little bit different. There. So I want to do a yellow stripe through here. And I think I'll use an orange color for this little tag. Usually, there's a brand name right there on that tag. And I'll paint my initials. Purple and orange go well together. There we go. Okay, then maybe I'll just use a little bit of purple. I'll just continue with purple here since I broke up that. And then moving on, let's go back to the red backpack. I think I'll put some yellow in here. Kind of brighten it up. There we go. Then on this backpack over here, I will use blue. I'm trying to stay away from using green because the ground is green and I don't want to have too much green in the painting. I want to save room for other colors to make, because I want to make this pretty colorful and happy, because the theme is a happy theme. And maybe I can do a mixture of some colors in here. I'll put in some blue, but then I will also mix maybe like a brownish color just to add maybe to make it look like it's that canvas that you sometimes see on backpacks. I'll put some brown up here. And while I'm working with brown, I'm going to go ahead and like make this like a brown wood. Yeah, let's have all this brown. There we go. And I might, let's see, I'm going to add some yellow to these little hooks right here. Maybe they're like brass hooks or kind of that gold look of hooks. And I think I'm going to choose a smaller brush now for the little straps. I'm going to make the straps on the backpacks black. There we go. Yeah, so with this art contest, I talked to Miss Nadia. Miss Nadia Villafana. She helps us every year. And she said this year they have iPads for prizes. I don't know if you remember last year I got to go to the schools with Miss Nadia and with Mr. Abelino, and we gave out bicycles to the winners and some iPads. But this year she said they had a donor who donated iPads. So I think that's great. We can all especially use iPads these days with all the distance learning. Let's look at the sign. Okay, so for the sign, I'm going to do, I think it's okay if I do like a blue-green on the letters. See if I can get these little letters done here. And I'm not outlining this in black. This brush has some little, all these brushes have a life expectancy that runs out. I'm sorry to say, the little bristles will start falling out. You've probably noticed that before while you're painting, so I needed to switch that brush. So this would be like a little sign that maybe a teacher made or, you know, some students made. So I'm going to have it be like soft in the background, so I'm not going to outline it with black pen. I want it to kind of fade into the back. There, something like that. Let me thicken the W. Okay, and then maybe I will add just a hint of blue kind of around the edge of the sign. Not a lot, but just a little blue here and there. Just so it doesn't match, or just so it's not like pure paper. Okay, I mean really soft, that's all I'm gonna do. So for the rest of the background, let's see, maybe I'll add, before I do that, let me just add a little, I feel like this needs a little something. I'm just gonna do some little designs on this backpack to kind of symbolize, like maybe it's heart patterns, something like that. And I can do the same thing here. There. Maybe I'll do the same thing on the blue backpack. Do some sort of a little pattern on it. Just so it's not as plain. There, just something. And for the background, I think, yeah, just a soft, I'll do just a soft orange here. There we go. I think it looks better if you don't leave any like paper white on your art for the, I mean, you can leave some, but if you have the opportunity, I think it's best to color in backgrounds. And notice that I just randomly decided to trace my plate and make a circle frame. That's entirely up to you. Sometimes I think it makes the art a little more interesting to have the paper, like to have it framed, kind of. And I'm still going to decorate this outside edge, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. Okay. And then I think if I want to add just a little more detail, just to make things more interesting, I can just add some, maybe some wood grain to this. And I could add some things on the ground, but I'm not going to. Let's see. For the background, I'm just going to add a variety of like, I think circular designs, and I'm going to stick to reds and oranges and maybe some greens. And it's also going to make for a happy design in the background. I'm going to do little reds, and they're not like perfect little circles. I'm just kind of letting the brush do what it wants to do when it touches down on the paper. And I sometimes I think that's more interesting too, like an interesting design. But I am trying to evenly space out the colors that I do touch down. Maybe one here. I can also take green and kind of go around the yellow. And in the end, this will kind of all fade into the background and become like an interesting design to look at, because I think sometimes it's better to have a design. Sometimes it's better to keep things simple, but when you can or when you think it's appropriate, since this is such a simple drawing here, I think it's fine to do an interesting design in the background. I can do some more. This is a different shade of green that I'm just adding to it. And as I do one color at a time, and I just kind of go around the paper, and that way it gets spread out evenly. Again, I'm just doing circular designs. They're not perfect circles. You can overlap some. I think it just makes an interesting pattern. I'll just do a few more. Maybe I will brighten it up with a little bit of a brighter orange. Let's see. Let's try this orange. Let's do a few of these in some of the larger blank spots. And again, you can see the certain colors create a happy mood, and that's what I'm going for in this art. Remember, colors, have meanings, and a lot of people associate certain colors with happiness. Okay, I think that's okay for now. There was just a couple of things I wanted to add, so I'm going to just get my pen out again. I feel like I need to do a really light line, just kind of a broken line around this sign. so that it looked a little incomplete there. So it's just like a broken line. And I'm going to also do one more thing. I'm going to take my thicker Sharpie and just go around the larger shape of the backpack, just right here. And I think it will make the backpack stand out a little more and make them look more aesthetically or visually pleasing. See that? Just around the backpacks, not the whole drawing. And as I've said before, I think it's interesting to use different line weights. And by line weights, I mean different thicknesses of line. So I'm just going to bring this down like that. So I hope I've given you some good ideas. I did write an artist statement to show an example. And it's a shorter artist statement. Remember, it only has to be between 10 and 100 words. So this one says, I am looking forward to returning to school. I decided to paint backpacks on hooks because that is what you see when you walk down the hallways at a school full of students. The backpacks remind me of my friends at school. So I wrote that through the eyes of a student. So I'm just going to show you one more time my examples. So here we have the skate, missing the skating rink, and then here we have hugging grandma and the backpacks. So I hope I've inspired you. I'm going to go ahead and meet you back up at the easel. Okay, so I really hope you take a risk and enter the contest. So if you need to go back and watch that slideshow, what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture of your artwork. You can either email it to me, my email's there on the bottom of the screen, or you can email it to Miss Nadia. I put her information in that slideshow. Remember, there was also an address where if you want to mail it to Assemblymember Tom Daly's office, you may. So I really hope you go ahead and join the contest. Send me pictures of your artwork, and thank you for watching. Before we go, let's watch some pictures of that fabulous student artwork. Bye-bye.